Next week potential trades are lining up perfectly for high probability setup, and GBP AUD is my favorite, so stick around and watch till the end. I will show you what I mean using top-down analysis. So starting off, I only have 5 pairs that I'm looking out for to trade this week, and the maximum number of trades I take per week is 2. So let me start from NZD USD using top-down analysis. So you can see NZD USD on the weekly time frame. So guys, pay attention because it's very logical and practical. So you see on the weekly time frame, we are bearish on the weekly time frame. You see, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. And you see, last week I was waiting for trade here to take this trade to the downside to continue the lower low leg, but when price got to this place, it broke this zone and went to this, rejected off of this other minor zone. But this zone is my area of interest that I'm actually looking out for to take the trade. I trust this zone more than this zone because if you look to the left, price have rejected off of this zone multiple times. So it serve here as support, it serve here as resistance, serve here as resistance, so it serve here as resistance. So you can see that price have used this place and rejected multiple times, 4 times, and is more likely to do it again on the 5th time. So you see price have already broke the zone, so I cannot take this trade off of that zone. So what I'm waiting for the next week candle to open. So when next week candlestick open, so ideally it might continue the sell down, or it might do something like this to create the bearish candle, create the bearish candle. So it will now reject. Once it rejects to this place, and it will leave a week. It leave a week like this, and on the daily time frame, it will now fill the week. It will fill the week back. So let me show you. Let me explain better what I mean. So on the daily time frame, move down to the daily time frame. You can see that the daily time frame, we are also bearish on the daily time frame, and this was the zone I was looking out for to sell. So if price respect this zone, it might get to this place, reject from this zone, give more like rejection candlestick, then I'll sell down here. Or if you have an engulfing candlestick here like this, maybe Monday candlestick open, engulf like this, then on the Tuesday candle that will open, it will retest here, give a week. So on the continuation sell, that's when I'll enter off of that week. Excuse me, sorry guys. So that's when I'll enter off of that week, retest on the lower time frame to continue the sell down. And if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you see that the 4-hour time frame, the bullish on the 4-hour time frame, but I cannot take the trade there. I can only take the trade when it broke here. It should break like this, retest on that week that I'm explaining on the daily time frame, and now continue the sell down. See, so That is what I'm looking for on the NZD USD. So the next pair is GBP NZD. So GBP NZD on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame, you are bullish on the weekly time frame. You see, you are clearly bullish on the weekly time frame. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. So for this weekly time frame to have a pullback to this valid area of interest, because you see, look to the left, price have rejected this zone 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's more likely to come to this place and continue the buy to the upside. And you can see right now price is reacting off of this resistance zone. You see 1, 2, more like 3. So price is reacting off of this zone. So the weekly is bullish. So but I can trade this down here, take profit here. So when I get my clean engulfing and rejection candlestick here, then I'll now take the actual trade to the upside. For this pullback, I want to trade this pullback. So if we go to the daily time frame, you see that the daily time frame have shifted bearish for the pullback to continue. You see, this is, it was going up to the upside, higher high, okay, structure, higher high. So we now shifted bearish. So what I'm waiting for is a pullback to this zone. So once you get the pullback and rejection candlestick, then I'll take the trade to the downside. Hope you understand. And this zone here is the valid area of interest. You see, price have rejected it in the past. You see, so whenever we are under, we use our resistance to the downside. Whenever we are under, we use our resistance to the downside. So price is more likely to reject it when it goes to this place. Reject it, then I'll take the trade to the downside. So, and also 4 hour is bearish. 4 hour is bearish. This is the lower low, this is the lower high, and for that pullback to happen, 4 hour will turn bullish. 4 hour will turn bullish for that pullback to happen. So but if 4 hour is bullish, I cannot take the trade unless the 4 hour shifts to bearish, pullback, rejects. That's when I will now take the trade to the downside. I hope you understand what I'm explaining. So it's very, very logical. Before I take the trade to the downside, this is what the 4 hour will do. And the daily, you just have just one candlestick or two candlestick pullback. But on the 4 hour time frame, it will be a structure to get. So that is that on GBP NZD. So if we move down to NZD JPY, so NZD JPY, you see clearly on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we are also bearish on the weekly time frame. So this is the lower low and this is the lower high. So price have pulled back to the area of interest on the weekly time frame, which is very, very good. You see, weekly price have rejected here in the past. If we move down to the left hand side, so we are here. So I'm looking for sell to the down to this place here. I'm not looking to take this previous low, so I'm looking to just take my 1:2 off of for 1:3 within this zone and this zone. So but it's clearer on the daily time frame. You see, the daily time frame is also bearish. See, daily time frame is also bearish. This is the lower low, this is the lower high, so which is two time frame in sync. Weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, giving us more of confluences that it's possible for it to continue the downside. So and see, my take profit is here. Why? Because if you look left, price have rejected here multiple times. You see the strong area of interest, strong zone, support and resistance zone. So this is my ideal take profit. So if we move down to the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame is bullish, which I don't actually need 4 hour to turn bullish for me to take the trade, because the two time frame, daily and weekly, are already bullish, and those are the higher time frame, and structure are tend to respect market are trying to are likely to respect the higher time frame structure more than the lower time frame structure. So that is what I'm actually looking for. So price is already at the area of interest. So next week we'll just be looking for entry to take the trade to the downside. So GPP says CHF. So GPP CHF is another interesting one. You see, we have two areas of interest here, so I will explain. So if you check, if you look very well, you see that we are bullish. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. So we have this area of interest. Price have rejected it multiple times in the past. So we also have this area of interest also. We have 1, 2, and 3 area of interest on the weekly time frame. But let me hide this. If we go down to the on the daily, if we go down to the daily time frame, you see my daily time frame is also bullish. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. Is also bullish. So I can take this trade for him here. Once price come to this place, give me rejection, then I'll take it to the upside to this place here. You see? So because if we check to the left hand side, whenever we are under, we serve as resistance. Whenever we are under, we serve as resistance, so resistance. So when price broke above, come back, serve as support, and take it to the upside. So this place is also resistance. So market is likely to respect this zone and repeat what it have done in the past. So simply clear pattern. The pattern that it have done in the past, so it's more likely to repeat it and do it again. So if I don't get much of a rejection candle from here, then I will wait for it here, but that will not be next week. So it will be probably upper week or next 2 weeks. So moving on, if you check the 4-hour time frame, you see we are bullish on the 4-hour time frame. Bullish on the 4-hour time frame. You see, let me just show you guys market structure, how I make my structure. So this was last week. You see, this was last week. It was last week Friday. Price close consolidating here during Asia session. You know, there's no much volatility. So when price open, we now create higher high. So we'll come down, higher high. This is the higher low, higher high, higher low. So market body close above here. So we now have a new higher high, higher low. So market body close here, shift structure. You have a lower low, lower low. This is the lower low. This one became the lower high. So instead of for this to continue creating the lower high, no rejection here, to continue creating the lower high to this place, we now body close above again to make this the higher high, and this one now become the higher low. So now what did market do? So we have market structure. This one weak above it but did not body close it. So we are still bullish on the 4-hour time frame. So but when markets came down here and body close above this place, so we now have higher high, and this is the higher low. So currently right now the 4-hour time frame is bullish. Get so, but if I want this price action to come to this place and give me rejection before I buy, so what will the market do? The market will now turn bearish, something like this. come to this place, give me rejection, then before I take the trade to the upside on the 4-hour time frame. So the daily will now have a pullback, more like 2 or 3 candles will come down here, give rejection before I take the trade to the upside. For this pair, I don't see this week. I don't see this week having that move. So, but it's still part of my watch list, because this is, if that move want to happen, this is what the market to do. This is what the market to do. This is what the market to do. So the market will open, because market close here. So the market will open, give a little rejection candlestick here, then come down here to this place. You see that place that markets pull up a little bit, it will have a rejection like this. Let me remove this. It will have a rejection like this. So on this pullback, we'll have a candlestick like this. Then within the week or towards the ending of the week, so market will now pull back again, and on that pulling back, it will now create a ginormous wick like this, retesting this zone. So price, the market can do it, we can actually do it, can happen in the, that's happened in the past. So but fingers crossed. But if this did not happen, if this did not happen, so the weekly time frame will have a pullback here or here. So once I have rejection, I'll now take the trade to the upside. If it doesn't give rejection here, then I'll wait for it here. And if you can see clearly, we have an inverted head and shoulder here. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the right shoulder. You can see that we've broken the neckline of the inverted head and shoulder. So coming back to retest the neckline, you can use this as the neckline, you can use it as the neckline. So provided where we have a clear rejection before we use as support to the upside. So hope you understand. So moving on to the last interesting pair, GBP AUD. So GBP AUD on the weekly time frame, you're bearish on the weekly time frame. This is the lower low and this is the lower high on the weekly time frame. Let me drag it here so that you see clearly. On the weekly time frame, so price have retraced back to the previous structure point, which is the lower high. So you can see price have rejected this zone multiple times in the past. Whenever we are under with a resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. So what is likely to happen here? So last week we have rejection here last week, rejection candlestick. So this week I'm anticipating a candlestick, a bearish engulfing candlestick to engulf this candle to continue the sell to the downside. Then I'll take my profit here. Not looking to take it down here. So if we have a ginormous candle that will break this place, it's, you know, win-win, less stress, less drawdown. So but on the daily time frame, you see the daily time frame is bullish. So I'm actually anticipating for this to turn bearish within the week. Something like this, it will break. You see we are bullish on the daily time frame. So once the candlestick body close here, so will now be bearish. So on this pullback, then I'll now look for my entry signal around here to take the trades to the downside. Take the trades to the downside. Very, very sweet trade. And once this form, it will now create a potential right shoulder on this side. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, we are clearly bearish on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, once we have this break and retest, we'll now be retesting the EMA, retesting the round psychological level and some other things, and you see that this zone have actually stopped the price. So if you have this break, have a retest, and I'll be interested in this trade, then you take it something like this, then stop maybe at this place here, then the target 1:2.7. It's not a bad trade, so but fingers crossed. So let's see what this market will do. So that is that, and thank you guys. Let me know what you suggest and what you think on the comment section below, and see you guys within the week. Let's see what the market will do.